We went to high school together. So we already knew of each other. We didn't know each other. He was 2 years older than me. Um, and so we went to high school together. I saw him all the time, like in the hallways, kissing
That is not true.
and being fast.
To this day.
Skipping class.
Listen.
Loud, obnoxious. So that's how we initially met each other. And then, of course, Facebook got big. Probably about the time I became a senior in high school. Maybe, I don't remember. But we started.
No, I think he's in college already.
Maybe.
Yeah, we started keeping in touch.
Yeah, we kept in touch
throughout college.
through Facebook. Our birthdays are 6 days apart, so I would say happy birthday to him. He would say happy birthday to me, or say hey, whatever the case may be. So we knew each other from high school, or knew of each other from high school.
And so, keep me honest. But every time we kind of said what up, a happy birthday, one of us was dating somebody at the time.
I don't know. I wasn't keeping up with
you.
I
was. Well, I was keeping up. I was keeping
I don't
up.
know. I don't know.
I think 90% of the time when I was saying, what up, a happy birthday, there was intentions behind that.
Me and trifling.
No.
How you was dating somebody but had it?
No. That's why I said 90% of the time. Because
don't say happy birthday to nobody else.
No, because by the time I was dating the girl before you, as I said, most of the time before that, it wasn't nobody really serious.
Oh.
And then once that gray area happened between me and her, it was like, okay, I can move forward. But no, maybe 80% of the time. But no, I was.
No, it's 80.
Because you trying to make it seem like I was one, and I won't no one. But yeah, she right. We knew each other from high school. I was not kissing no girls in the hallway because I was on one in high school, so I know better to kiss girls in the hallway.
Okay.
Nor was I skipping. If I was skipping, what was you doing?
Probably skipping too.
I wasn't skipping in high school.
Cause I ain't go to school that much.
Yeah, we knew each other in high school, and she was younger than me, but I definitely kept my distance from afar, but peeked in on you every now and then.
Through a mutual friend. Like at the time, I had just broken up. Well, not just. It's been like a few months since I broke up with someone, and she was kind of like, "You need to get back out there. I know this amazing guy. You need to meet him." And I was like, "No, thank you. I'll pass." She was like, "I'm serious. He's a good guy. You're gonna like him. He's your speed." Okay, fine. Give him my email address. Don't give him my number. Just my email so I can ignore him. But she sent him my email, and he emailed me, and I was like, okay, he is a different speed. He is what I'm not used to, because he was really poetic. You were like, he would write me poetry, and it was just like, I guess because he was older, or is older, so there's more maturity there. And it was just like, man, this is a breath of fresh air. So from that point on, I think I sent you my phone number, right? Or you sent me yours and was like, if you want to call me, you can. Because it was a Friday, and we were communicating through his work email.
This actually all started on a Monday. There's a couple things that she actually left out.
Oh, what did I leave out?
I was actually living in Charleston. She was in New Jersey at the time.
So it was long distance.
She had just gone through a bad breakup. I, on the other hand, was just kind of like single and dating, but I really wasn't running into any substance, so it was just dating. And the person who introduced us, she went to high school with, but she was a coworker of mine for a few years, and we actually sat right next to each other. So we would have these long discussions throughout the day about relationships and dating and people. And I guess kind of how she put it out there to Carrie, she put it up there to me like, I have a friend. Actually, she said, I have two friends.
On
She
each
said, I
other.
have two friends that I could possibly introduce you to, because I would like to see you with somebody worth your time.
Two friends.
And she was like, but I think there's one friend that's more of a fit for you, but I'll let you.
Oh, and she had the picture.
Yes. So there was a picture that she had of her and four of her friends,
Like a
I
group
think.
of us. We had went out one
And
night.
I always was like, who is that? Who is that? So she gave me the email. I emailed her just a little paragraph introducing myself. And she
Different
replied, and as each day went on, it went from being a paragraph to a few paragraphs to like pages. And by the end of the week, I kind of feel like we had really connected. So I told her, if you want to give me a call, here's my phone number. So that Saturday morning, I was chilling. I was just kind of sleeping in, and my phone rang, and it was her. She was just...
That was like the hardest thing for me to do because I was like, should I call him? Should I not call him? But what if I don't call him and nothing happens? What if I do call him? I was like, no, I'm not calling him. I'm going to go to work and I'm not going to call him. And I went back and forth like this for hours. And around lunchtime, I'm sitting there. It's like, I need to keep busy because I might call him. I don't want to call him. Should I call him? Like, just literally going back and forth like this for hours. And then I called him. And the rest is history.
We were at work, and it was her first day. I could see it. It was her first day of work. I was working at the company. This was in Baltimore, Maryland. So I was coming up the front to speak to the receptionist. Her name was Jean. Remember it clear as day. She was there. They had a little stool up, like not a stool, but like a, what do you call that? What's that right there? Ottoman in the reception area. And she was sitting on it. I think she was either waiting to be taken back to her department or waiting for Jean. So when I walked out there, I saw her, and Jean looked at me, and I must have had a message on my face. So Jean was like, called me over. Now mind you, Jean didn't talk to too many people. She was an older lady, to herself. All she did was admin work. She called me over. She said, Barney, today is her first day. As if to say, she read my face. So I said, thank you, Jean. And from that day on, I could tell you what she had on, a black dress. I know exactly what she was wearing. And I went back and I said, I'm in trouble. That was the first day I ever saw her. But I didn't meet her yet. She was in legal and I was in audit. And I had to audit her department. So I was walking in her department continuously for no apparent reason. Like I was auditing her area, but I just had to see who she was. But that was the first time I met her. The first time I saw her. Is that correct?
I don't know because I wasn't there when you were talking to Jean. I don't remember you.
Your first day when you sat up front.
I don't remember you.
Well, anyway.
Now, when I first met you, wasn't that in the elevator?
No. Not when you first met me, because that's when you told me we were going to lunch. And the girl, your coworker, she came to me, she said, we going to go to lunch. And I was like, yes, let's go. But her coworker came and said, so when we going? And both of us looked at her coworker like, you wasn't part of the we going to go to lunch. So that was the elevator, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See?
Yes, but I found out that you were in audit in Union County, and I was in grad school.
And she
I
needed
some
help,
with
so I was
accounting.
being used. I was being used to help her finish grad school.
It's one
Story
class.
of my life.
What do you mean finish?
Story
It
of
was
my
one
life.
class.
Use me.
So there you have it.
That was it. That was her memorable moment, but I remember the exact first day I met her and what she was wearing.
So my son, like I said, I have 3 boys. 2 of them are adults. My middle son had a truck that he wanted to get fixed. And like I said, at the time, we were new to the area. And I actually asked a friend for a mechanic, and she sent us somewhere else. But some way, somehow, my son ended up at his shop and basically called me like, okay, Mom, we found somebody. He seemed like he's really honest. Can you come pick us up and drop off the money, basically? So when I pulled up, he was walking out of the shop, and I literally was like, I text my girlfriend, this is my real life husband. My last marriage was a practice. But I had never met him, never talked to him, and that was it.
That's how we met. That's where we met.
It got real quick.
Right.
I wasn't thirsty, girl. I wasn't thirsty. But you know, just sometimes like, hey, what up? What's going on with you? Sometimes, most of the time it was genuine, but I'm just saying like,
See if you bite.
no, not necessarily you bite. It was just like,
Oh,
I mean, the attraction was always since high school, so that wasn't anything to shy away from. But just like, but at that time I did. It was genuine to say, hey, what up? How's it going? How's it going? How's life treating you? Stuff like that.
nice.
I think once or twice I try to make the conversation go a little bit elsewhere, and you didn't even respond. So it was like, oh, she must got a dude. So like I said, like any other time it was just real genuine. How you doing? What's going on? But I ain't thirsty though.
Okay. Okay. That was a long time ago. Who cares?
It was one of those things where, you know how when you read a text message, you could tell if the person's kind of being genuine or not? Like, there was no question about what was being said or the intentions in any of the emails, which I think is why we were able to connect so quickly.
Well, if my memory serves me right, I know you're going to correct me if I'm wrong.
Like
But,
Martin and Gina.
If my memory serves me right, the first day, it wasn't no conversation other than business the first day, you know, because I seen she had a ring on the hand, you know, so I respected that, you know, that she was married, and she was dressed like she was just hanging around the house, you know what I'm saying? So, not to say that was a bad thing, but I didn't want to, you know, I didn't make that pass on because I figured she was married. And I mean, I figured she had a nice little marriage and whatnot. But anyway, whenever I finished it, she came to pay. And when she came to pay, the ring disappeared. She came in looking like Halle Berry, you know. I was like, now hold on, I know this ain't the same woman from the other day.
Oh, where is the
I'm
ring?
like, where is the, aren't you, I'm sitting behind the counter like, pointing up like, ain't you married? Where your ring is? Because I'm debating whether or not I want to ask, you know what I'm saying?
And he really asked me that, like, are you married? And at the time,
Like that.
I was still married. We were in the same home, separated. You know, divorce was in process already, but at the time I was still married. And I told him, when he asked me, I looked at him, I said, listen, this is what had happened was, this is where we are in the process. You know, everything is already in the works, but, you know, this is what it is.
She was straight up, you know, and I appreciated that. And I was straight up with her. And it's just been the same way ever since. We don't hide, keep nothing, because it's just easier. That's what I was telling you earlier. It's just easier to just not try to keep nothing away from
Right,
each
be
other, because
open.
it's hard. Just be open.
And honestly, I had my ring on at that time because I was trying to keep male attention away from me. So that was the only reason I was wearing it. But
worked.
then when I
It
got
worked.
that
That
vibe, when I got that vibe from him, I was like, oh no, not this guy. I don't want to keep him away. You know? So I just took it off and went back. Like, I was just joking. I'm not.
There you go. You want that?
I don't. I remember the first time he came to my house. We had been talking over text messages and I think Facebook, and he told me he wanted to come home. I kind of ignored it. He was living in Virginia. I was in Wisconsin. and I was at a wedding, and he texted me and said, "I'm at your house," and I was like, "What? Why?" And I think I told my mom, like, "Alex said he here," and she was like, "Oh, are you gonna go home?" And I was like, "No, like he didn't come home to see me. He came home for somebody or his family, but it wasn't for me." And she's like, "That's rude. If he at the house, you know, you should go." So I was like, "All right, I guess I should." And we hung out. But our first day, I don't know. But that, I do remember that's the first time that we kind of just like start talking, and he came to the house.
He flew in from Charleston. You were in Charleston, right? And we went to see that god awful movie. What was it? Was it Flight Plan?
Flight Plan.
That movie was horrible.
Jodie Foster movie.
And then we got out so late, there was really nothing open. So we went to Applebee's. And back then, my palate wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. So I only
'Cause I
ate chicken
tried to go
fingers
other
and French
places.
fries.
Like I was
So we
trying
went
to
to
go to,
Applebee's.
I was trying to go to like Deltas or any number of other places in regards to, okay, you know, I really want to make a good impression. And she was like, "I don't eat that. I don't eat that either."
Chicken fingers and French fries.
You're easy, Dick.
Very, very, like, not very expensive. My palate wasn't as mature as it is now.
We both agreed the movie was terrible.
God awful.
We went to Applebee's, and I don't think I've ever enjoyed Applebee's the way I did that night. It was,
Best French fries I've ever had.
it was, you know, I could have been in a 5-star restaurant. I think I would have had the same exact experience.
Because I want to see if she says what I think she's going to say.
Our first non-date date. Yes, I do.
We didn't go on dates. We
didn't
went
go
on
dates. We
non-date
went on
dates.
non-dates.
She refused to say that we were dating.
We weren't dating.
So whenever we went out, it was a non-date date.
Yes.
So if you said, "Well, we dated," we never dated. We had non-date dates.
We were just hanging out.
So our first date was when we went bowling.
Yeah, okay, I do remember that.
Our first date is when we went bowling.
I do.
But she is right though. I did come home, and I actually came home for you. I didn't come home for nothing else. I actually came home for you, which corresponded for the next 8 months, once a month.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened that my family was there as well, but you were the main focus. And I ain't jacking. I'm telling the truth.
Okay.
But yeah, that was October, right? October
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah, we did go bowling. I do remember that. I forgot about that. That was a long time ago.
8 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Our first date was our first kiss. Can't forget that.
Now he's 37, I'm 41, but I'm sitting here like I'm 17 now, blushing when he said that. You absolutely cannot forget it. So our first date, we went to Red and 28.
There's a hookah lounge in Charlotte.
It was in the daytime. It was light outside when we got there. I had never been there. I'm from Philadelphia, so I was kind of new to the area. And he took me there.
Took her there, sat on the couch, fed her some chicken wings, and got some sugar. That's why I say you ain't gonna never forget that day. You ain't gonna never forget that day. That was a good day.
And we go there often to this day.
Mm-hmm.
We try to sit
Sit
in
on
that
that
same
same
couch.
It was lunchtime. We were walking by the water at the harbor, Baltimore Harbor. And it was sort of, I was sort of upset with her because I was confused. And I was like, I don't know how to express this. And all of a sudden, and she's like, "Well, what's wrong with you?" I said, because I love you. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
he was being real ugly that day. I mean, just
I was,
what's wrong with you?
my brain was in confusion mode, and it was like, you love this lady, and you don't know what to do.
No, you don't. Don't say that.
No, she blank stared at you. Blank stared at first. You were like, it was like in her mind she was saying, he said,
Wow.
and then she said, but she was just like looking at first, like, did he just say that? Yeah. On the water, Baltimore Harbor. I remember it clear as day. So water people, I told you I planned everything by the
You
water.
didn't plan that.
Well, I didn't plan that, but it occurs by the water. Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that it's always by the water? See?
It was
I think he
probably
loved
it was
me
probably me. It was probably me because again, just based on where I had been in relationships and what I had experienced, I didn't have any hesitation or second thoughts in regards to coming to grips with how I felt and why I felt the way I did. I've always been very open with her emotionally, so I think for me it was very easy.
Yeah, he's more of the communicator, the talker.
I did. She knew it. She loved me. She just didn't want to say it.
I wasn't thinking about him.
Okay. You wasn't at that time when I said it?
I don't know. At that time, I
You
still.
disrespectful.
I don't know. He did say he came home every month, and he was very consistent, persistent. I don't know, and I don't know if I really was like, even after he said I love me, I was just like, do we? I don't know. I don't know if I felt like he knew what he was talking about.
So let me ask you a question. Do you remember the time when I said I love you?
Yeah, it was like Christmas time. Yeah. Thanksgiving, somewhere around
nah,
there.
it
Yes,
wasn't.
it was.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
It definitely wasn't Thanksgiving.
Well, it was Christmas. It wasn't before that.
It was after.
I said Christmas time, December.
Oh, I was more so into January. Because January
Was it January?
Yeah, because January.
It wasn't.
January was when we made it official, as far as being in a relationship.
He don't know what he's talking
No, you don't know what you're talking about.
about. I'm not gonna argue. It was December.
Okay.
He said it first, and I didn't think he knew what he was talking about.
You don't think I know what I was talking about?
No, I didn't think you knew what you was talking about. But after, I don't know. I just was like, I don't know. I guess it just wasn't like consistent enough. Not his love or affection, just us having that long distance relationship. It was just, it was like he here. Maybe what was the longest he was at home? Maybe a week, if that.
No, for December I was home for almost the whole
I'm
month.
talking about every time you came home.
For December I was almost home for the whole month.
You were home for the whole, but I said every other month.
Yeah, like a week.
Yeah, about a week. So it was just like, yeah, we have good times, but do he really know? Is he saying this? Is he infatuated? I got a good effect on guys, so it's just like, is it that?
Holier than thou. She one of them people. Holier than thou. She swear her connection with God was deeper than mine. Boy.
So I don't know. But yeah, he said it first. And I think I was short behind him. So it wasn't like forever. But I did also like the fact that like he didn't trip that I didn't say it right back. Because I thought that was going to be a big thing. Like, you ain't saying that. But he never like brought that up. So that was cool to me too. So that also helped me, solidify that, okay, maybe he does really mean this. Because if I don't know how to say it back, then it doesn't, take away how he feels. So. And it didn't change. I thought, okay, that's cool.
Make sure I'm telling my son everything. He will know.
I didn't, and it was 4 days later. Okay, don't fall off your chair that much. And what happened was, I'm like a really, really, really super duper empath. I'm very everything is so, I read things, people, I understand, I pick up things very quick. And I don't know, when I met him, every time I talked to him, it was like super uncomfortable because I'm like, this guy reads me just as much as I read other people. Like, what in the world? And he sent me a poem. I went to a concert one night with a girlfriend of mine. It's the same one that I texted and told her this was my real life husband. And he sent me a poem. And in the poem, literally, we were out eating, and I was like, this man, like, how does he, we were sitting there, her and I just tripping, like, how does he know? How can he, what is happening? And my response to him when he texted me was, when he texted me that was, you're trying to make me say I love you.
Yeah,
And he was like, do what your heart feels. And I was like, oh shoot. But I felt it and I was like, I love you. And he was like, say it again. And I was like, I love you. And he was like, I love you too. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. 4 days later.
4 days later.
I had to show her what I meant when I love her. See, I told her and she didn't understand. I had to show her. And then she was like, just do this for real. She, at first it's like, you can tell anybody you love them. But once you see that they love you, it's like, that changed the game. But I tell you, the first time I felt from her that I said, she might love me. When I came back from overseas, I had to travel. I was out of the country on an audit for a while. And I came back to Reagan National? Dallas. And no, I mean, I hadn't shaved in God knows how long.
I don't know how you got back in the country.
I didn't even look like me. I came back, walking out, came through the security gate, walking down to leave the airport. She was walking right up the ramp and met me at the airport. I was like, she came to see me. She knew I was coming back. Met me at the airport. That was like my first cloud nine.
That's when you know. I was just being Uber.
See. See, that's what I dealt with. That's like the non-date. That's like we not on a date.
That's hilarious.
Cause I didn't ask her to pick me up, so how was she being Uber? I didn't even know she was there.
What you gonna get from the airport?
But I didn't know she was
Oh,
there.
you didn't know.
I'm leaving the airport and she just come right in front of me. I was like, how did she even recognize me? Because I did not only that, I was so different. China had held me. They looked at my passport and didn't want to let me leave because they were like, this is not you. 10 minutes before my flight. That's how different I looked. They were like, I had to do a signature test. Like, write your name. They did a comparison. So I don't know how she recognized me when I got back.
Because it was true. It was real. Well, let me say at first, I guess I wasn't thinking about it from that standpoint. To be honest with you, you probably was the first person I ever told I loved them first. I'm almost certain. And so I think at that time, I think it was just, I wouldn't say adamant. It was just very real. It was. I knew what it was. I knew what I felt, and I knew where I wanted to go. I knew what I wanted to be. Not too far after that, we was already talking about the future, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't anything that I guess what made me say it first because I knew this is where I wanted to be. This is who I wanted to be with. And so it wasn't a point of me hiding. But like she said, at those times she always still like. I felt like she still just wasn't seeing that this is gonna be something real, and it's like she just don't think this is real for me. Like it was like, no, this is real for me. I'm in this for the long haul. Like she said, I came home once a month, so she was, he may like me. He may take me out to eat. And that's cool. That's what she did. That's what she had no intention of being serious with me by no means of the stretch.
I did, and I told him I didn't want to be in a relationship. I was like, nah, I'm good. And
But-
I had been it previously, but everybody else like, nah, I'm good. And I was just like, at the point, even with him, I told him like, I'm not wasting no time. I'm not giving you more than 2 years of my time. So, you saying you serious, I'm telling you no. So if you want, you can move on. But if you are serious, then here are the parameters and the guidelines in which you will, be in my life. And so, like he said, like none of that pushed him away. He didn't stray away from, what he said he felt or what he wanted or where he wanted to go. So it's just like, that made it easier for me to be like, even if I wasn't sure, like if he loved me enough, then of course I can love him. You know what I mean? I feel like it's easier for women to go ahead, and love men or learn to love them, because it's like, if a man don't love you or feels like if he don't, then maybe he never will. It's not something that that's gonna grow on him or anything like that. So it's like, if you there, then I can get there. So it's just like, and like I said, his consistency and him being persistent, even with him being around my family, like a lot of times guys come around my family, I got a really strong family, very, very opinionated, loud, territorial type family. So it was like, and he came in and fit right in almost too well. So it was like, oh, okay. And he was like, he didn't shy away from them either. So it's just like, not only are you coming for me, you come in and fit well with them. So that was just like, okay, maybe he's serious, because they, like I said, they're a bit much. And if you can deal with them, you can.
You said it, I didn't. You said it, I didn't. Just remember that. know the crazy thing. I mean, of course, I'm not even about to try to be cute. So her smile was just amazing to me. I'm a sucker for smiles. So her smile was the first thing that caught my attention. And then how she carried herself just in high school. Like she just wasn't off like nobody. Like she was one of the cool girls, but like you can tell, just like you couldn't really just play with her. Like cats, the not the persona. Yeah, what I gathered from her as far as how she walked around the school was like, I'm cool enough to kick it with the dudes, but I'm also strong enough to put you in your place if you don't come correct. And I think that for a man, I think most dudes, at least in my opinion, I always wanted somebody that was a strong woman in that sense. And then as we started to talk again, her smiles will always call me. I always find myself looking at some of her pictures on Facebook with her smiles and stuff like that. When nobody's stalking you, girl, but her smiles will call my attention. But then when we started to just have conversations, and I started to get a different perspective on her just intellect and starting to see there was some substance behind this smile and behind, this physique, whatever the case may be. And so, an intellect and a smile, that's my kryptonite. I'm gone all day, every day off that. You got to keep smiling. You got some substance. Yeah, I can rock with you. And so, that was one of the biggest things that probably caught my attention. That smile. And then once I got to know her, just the fact that she has some brains behind that smile.
His intellect, and he's still funny as hell. Ooh, can I say that? Mm-hmm. He's funny as hell. Like, he makes me laugh. But initially, before I knew how funny it was his intellect. Like, we can sit there and literally, we'd be on the phone for hours just talking. And it's not like, nonsense. It was deep conversation. And that was like, that and the fact that he was older. He was older. But yeah, that for me, that was it. Just intellect. He was confident, just he was the bomb.
It doesn't have to be visible,
Yeah. What attracted me to her was her energy. Number one, when she walked in my shop, she's gorgeous, number one. Number two, she had that, when you see a bad chick get out there, nice looking ride, hair cut, clothes tight, it's like, oh, she on her business. You know what I mean? I gotta be right when and I like challenges. So I went for it. And that's what made me go for it, because that's what I desire. Somebody that kept themselves together, can look, inside and out.
And for me,
Say something nice.
for me, this right here, this smile, first of all, it's infectious. And as I got to know him, it's who he is internally. Like he said, his energy, it's more of a spiritual connection. It's crazy how deep our connection is. Even now, like, we talk about it, and it's like, sometimes it's like, okay, are you really my husband? Or have we really been married all this time? Because it feels like I just met you yesterday. So his energy, I don't know, it just like, and I'm totally opposite of what I gave to him, I thought. Like, I'm the closed person, don't talk to me, but he just had me like, oh no.
There are two things that attracted me to her, but the funny thing is, one of them is a love-hate thing. Her strength attracted me. She's tough. But that's also a drawback for me, because she's too tough sometimes. So it's both, like, she's strong, and I didn't want a weak person. I didn't want a pushover or a weak person. So that was an attractive part. Another part was, obviously she was attractive, but she had like ambition. She had goals. She was smart, and like she said, she was studying she was trying to get out of grad school. And as I helped her, I was like, she has direction. She's trying to. I like that. I didn't want somebody that was complacent and just, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what it's going to be. Either you like this, whatever. So that was a plus. Her strength, and at times now I don't like her strength. But her ambition and of course her beauty. That black dress, that's why I remember what she was wearing that day. That was my favorite dress in the world. I even know down to the jewelry what she had on. I do. I know the dress, the jewelry, everything she had on. Okay.
For me, I think, like I said, it was his persistence is what attracted me. And that he is just, I don't know, very, very goal-oriented and task-driven. And he takes care of everything. Everything. At first, let me say, maybe that was also a turn-off, too, that he take care of everything. But it was just like, you don't have to ask him to do anything. Like, he gonna ask you, or it's gonna already be done. And he's still like that to this day. I come home and I'm like, oh, I need, and he like, here. Or I'm like, I'm looking for here. And it's like, that's great. Good job. Good job. And like I said, he was just really, really persistent. And I mean, like, I think at that transition when we started dating in my life, like, it was a lot of guys that liked me, but I think I came off a little strong. Like, I've been there, I've done that. Yeah, I'm young, but I'm not that young. And I really just don't have time. Like, I didn't want to be in a relationship with somebody that it take 10 or 20 years for you to find out whether or not you want to be with me, and then you gonna marry Sally. No, because I'm beating you and Sally up, because that's a whole lifetime. You know, you say y'all been together, you ask people how long y'all been together, and they like 25 years, 20 years together, 5 years married. What? Like, what? Why? You know, I mean, no judgment, you know, but I didn't want to have to give that much time to somebody. And the fact that he was coming just as strong, like, this is what I want, this is where I want to be. And like I said, just even have that long distance relationship with him being in Virginia and me in Wisconsin, like, that plane ticket wasn't cheap, coming back and forth, back and forth. And even when I was saying, no, this is not what I want, or no, I'm good off that, you know, and he wasn't asking me, like, are you still talking to Stan or George, or like that. It didn't matter. He like, I'm here. This is my place. This is where I want to be. Like, so it was just like, oh, okay. You know, so we didn't have like those type of conversations. It was just like, I'm here. So let's do what it do. So it's like, okay. And so for me, that was a major attraction, like a man that know what he want and don't have to fight for it, and he just is there. So I not only did that attract me to him, but that also made me appreciate him even more. Absolutely. You good?
I think for me,
It was no booty.
get out my head, okay? All right. She probably is the nicest person I've ever met. And when I say that, you know, it sounds cliche, but I have never met anyone who was so willing to be open, give people a fair chance, not judge anybody. And those are things that I found to be pretty refreshing. That is probably the biggest thing that kind of drew me to her, because I could go to work, have a terrible day, and, you know, get on the phone with her, and that would completely reverse whatever happened.
Yeah, those conversations were the bomb. Like, waking up in the morning, we call each other on the way to work, at lunch, on the phone with each other, after work, driving home, on the phone. Like, those conversations were the bomb. But you know what, to add to that, like he said, I am one of the nicest people he's probably ever met. But I feel like he adds balance, because I tend to overextend myself for the people I love mostly. But I mean, if someone needs help, I'm gonna help you. And he's kind of provided that balance, like, babe, like you gotta stop. You can't sacrifice yourself to continue to do this because then you'll have nothing left for you. So he provides that balance where, okay, I'm hurting right now. I can't really do this. Then don't say yes. Like, you gotta say no. So he provides that balance, which is good because I'd be running around the streets of Charlotte helping everybody and their mamas.
And I'm quick to say no.
Yes. Like, he got the side eye, like.
Yeah, I hope you're not going to ask me a question because I've already formulated my answer.
But
In
it's
my
good
head.
because sometimes it's hard for me to say no, and I'm like, I need you to say no.
I guess what attracted me to him was his persistency and the conversations we used to have. They were just extremely thought-provoking, engaging. We could just sit for hours and talk, and I liked that, and I was attracted to that. And of course, both our love for travel, we shared that. But most of all, I would say it was his heart. He has a good heart. He has a very caring heart, and he's not afraid or reluctant to show emotion and feel emotion as a man. Sometimes it can be a little too much, but I do appreciate that he's not hard, and I think that is something that has helped us because I come from a background of being very hard sometimes.
I said strong just now. She said hard.
Yeah,
That's what we talking.
Yes, we're talking about the same thing. And so I know that it would not have been good for me to remain that way, but the fact that we are even where we are now in terms of 7 years has a lot to do with him, because he was always just willing to bend but not break. And for me, I was just not always willing to, but seeing how he was, it helped me become a little softer over the years.
I ain't soft.
Did you not hear
Okay.
what I said?
Yeah, you gonna clear that up. Y'all got that? Okay.
Your mama thought I was stuck up.
Oh, yeah, she did. You do act like that a little bit.
Oh, I don't. I'm not stuck up.
A little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. But it's all right. I think I humble you.
I think I'm highly confident
Yeah.
/ arrogant in some aspects.
Okay.
In some aspects.
That ain't cute.
And ain't you arrogant?
Yes, no. Confidence.
Confidence?
Yes.
Well, I was gonna use the word cocky.
Don't be that either.
I ain't neither one of them. But you talking about your
Confidence is good.
I'm very confident in myself in regards to what my self worth is and what I bring to the table. Yeah, I'm very confident in what I bring to the table. But there are some other things that I'm not so confident about.
I think that's natural. That's human.
Right. So how your mom thought I was stuck? Anyways,
I don't know.
I'm not stuck up.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why that was so difficult. Because I came up in a household, my father was abusive. And I told myself that I'd never put my hands on a woman. So when she did that, remember I told you I had to unlearn some things. The old me would have came back. But then I reflected on the promise I made to myself, never to put my hands on a woman in anger. So it took everything I had not to come back at her. Because she hit me. She hit me. And we went in an empty house. And I had to take myself to another room. I sat in a corner. And it took every piece of me not to get up. And that was hard. That was hard. Because it went against everything. Because remember I said, I was raised by a man to be hard, to be struck, to be taught. And you don't put your hands on me. But at the same time, I watched him put his hands on my mother. So that whole situation created a battle in me that was really, I'm battling my upbringing. I'm battling the fact that she just hit me. But I'm also battling the fact that I'm trying to be a better man. And not be that man that I saw growing up. So that was hard. That was difficult.
This is perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no comment. because we're gonna stay here all day on that one. Because I'm just listening to how you coming off with that. So yeah, that's we had two different perspectives on that one.
Okay, sure, yours. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you.
I don't necessarily think that was a difficult time. But with conflict, with healthy conflict, comes growth. We actually talked about that today, right? Doing conflict, there is growth. I think what was the realization around arguing or conflict, whichever term you want to use, is just experiences. We had different experiences in regards to what was the norm. So your experiences of an argument or a disagreement had a certain type of norm and boundaries, and mine was different.
That's true.
And I think that's that once we were able to see that, okay, what happened in the past, what I experienced in the past, whether good or bad, doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work for this relationship.
Right.
And so once we was able to see the difference of how we dealt with conflict, or how we dealt with conflict amongst ourselves, was what was needed. But I still don't think that was the difficult time. I think the difficult time was just understanding siblings. And I don't necessarily, that might be the wrong phrase, but it's just been some bumps.
Some family dynamics.
Yeah, just family dynamics. Understanding how to navigate through that, and how to, I don't know, how to be, I don't say transparent, but how to just be open to communication as far as dealing with family dynamics. I have siblings, she doesn't, and so some of those siblings, when you get married, siblings don't see it as a shifting or a change in how the relationship's gonna be, and it's not necessarily that I'm gonna be a different brother to my sister or my brother, but how we go about living, and the certain things. And I'm gonna just bring up this one thing, is that my sister and brother, hey, I'm about to come see you pop up on the road. I'm like, no, bro, sis, you can't do that. You got to call me before that. I got a family, and so they didn't understand kind of the dynamics, and it wasn't necessarily a bad thing that they can't pop up come see me. It was like, yo, we might got something planned for the whole weekend. You got to call. I got a wife and a kid now. Before I had a kid, you got to call. We might got something planned. So you talking about you coming to see me? I might not even be in town on the weekend. So just trying to understand those dynamics, because siblings sometimes don't see or don't. I don't know how to say, not knowledge, but just don't know how to respond to, their sibling ain't just their sibling no more. Their sibling now has a spouse, and so you got to take that into account. And so I think the family dynamics is probably some of the things that we probably dealt with, more so to me. And that's because arguing is something that I think is if it's healthy arguing, that's just that's natural. And arguing, based on what I experienced, was just the norm growing up, whether it was relationships with other females or arguing within the family. That's what it was norm for me. So So I think once we finally understood that, you know, what we experienced as far as conflict and disagreements, we just had two different perspectives. But yeah,
I can agree to that.